And we did it. Right now, we are in Lao, in Vientiane, the capital. So, not the top of the country, but if there's like the head of the country and that really long neck, gone all the way up the neck and boop, right to like, say the mouth area. And so this is slightly swaying back and forth because I'm on a hammock. Let's see. Whee! Fun times. Anyways, we're done with biking. Dippity doop, done. We did a total of 3,300 something .1 kilometers, and the last 3 days. So we've been in Vientiane for a while now. We arrived like the 10th or the 11th. Yeah, I think we arrived on the 11th. And so we've been here a bit, but before then, so the last 3 days of biking, the road just really did not want us to arrive here. So the third day, we're going along, and Michael stopped. I look back, and even from, say, 100 feet away where I was, his tire looked really weird. And then we came closer, and the tire had a big gash in it, and the tube was bulging out of it a bit, and it was twisted itself. And that was really weird. I knew it was about to break, so we stopped biking. And Michael pulls out his camera, takes a picture of it. It's like, man, that's really weird. Man, that's a good shot. Boom! Tire just explodes right on the face of his camera. So his camera is now broken. He got a little bit of rubber junk in his lungs, and his ears were ringing for a while. So that was no fun. We walked a bit, and then we caught a ride into the next city, which luckily was a decently sized one. So since we needed to get a new tire and a completely new tire and a completely new inner tube for that. So we did that, put our bikes on the back of one of the little blue trucks that's meant for just shuttling people around. Did that, arrived, yada yada, lovely. And the next day. So then, the next day, sometime right after lunch, I think. No, not right. Well, sometime in the day, my tire popped as well, but it wasn't an explosion. It was just a. Okay, that sunk. And the tire itself, that was worn through a little bit. The inner tube was definitely popped, but we weren't in a place where we could get a new tire. So what the guy did was he patched the inner tube, and then in the spot where the tire was worn through, he just put an extra piece of rubber on the inside, and then put the inner tube in, inflated it, and then we wrapped duct tape around the outside of the hole so little rocks wouldn't get in. So we did that. The bike is becoming more and more hodgepodge. And we just have one more day to do. We do that one more day, and 8K in. Pew! There goes my back tire. Luckily, this time we're right in a city, so we don't have to walk very far. And the same thing happens. The tire was worn through, but the guy didn't have an extra tire, so what we did was patched it. But then this time, instead of just putting a little piece of rubber on the inside, the guy took a whole nother old inner tube, cut the neck off where you pump it up from, split it in half, and just lined my tire with this other dead inner tube. And put the new one in. It worked fine. And then pumped it up. Obviously added more duct tape. And we arrived. We made it. And so far I'm really, really liking this city, Vientiane, much more than some of the other cities. And it's funny because along the way a lot of people said, oh yeah, there's not much to do in Vientiane. And I don't really know what backpackers mean when they say that there's not much to do somewhere. I think maybe that just means they don't like the bars. But anyways, we're here. We spent the last 3 days at the Garden Hostel. I guess this isn't the best vantage point, but around there and to the right. that's where most of the rooms are. We're in a dorm, and it's a pretty nice place. We've had some good eats here, and this is a really fun place. We're just wandering around through the streets, through the alleys, taking a left, taking a right. I finally got some large, flowy pants that I've always claimed I wanted. These red ones, but the waist part is really weird, and either there's some secret ancient Asian technique for tying the pants at the waist, or it's just a really crappy haven't fully figured out a way to make that work completely comfortably. But who knows? Who knows? A few days we go to yesterday. Let's see, what was it? We went all the way 4K in some direction to find a pizza place that Mike had wanted to go to. And at the table next to us, it was really funny because there was a table and there were just three little, I don't know if they were American, but definitely English-speaking Western girls. And by little, I mean maybe from the range of 6 to 9, probably not older than that. And it was especially funny because they were just at that table, the three of them by themselves. And Michael was like, man, backpackers are starting young nowadays. But their parents were on the other side or something, and this was the designated kids table. And it was really funny listening to them argue with each other and then bicker and then storm off and then come back and apologize and then storm off again. Oh man, kids. Kids. I miss them. They're all gone. Every last one of them gone. Oh well. Let's see. Met a few other people. There's this one sort of grumpy old guy who I've seen around, and I talked with him yesterday. And he's got a lot of anger inside of him. He was talking about how there are all sorts of people all over the place who owe him money, and that tomorrow, which I guess is today, he has this plan to completely screw over some guy in a business deal where because the guy owes him some money and apparently offended him in some way, and he plans to get the guy contracted into some sort of business deal that seems good but is doomed to fail, and it says it'll take everything he has, and maybe that's true, maybe not. Either way, it's sort of he could use some TLC. And there are these little, no idea what, yeah, breakfast.